We are committed to creating and sharing knowledge that empowers children and young people to understand the steps they can take to reduce their risks, increase their resilience to mental health problems, and improve their mental health.
Our vision is to create a world with a sound mental health for all. We want to thank you for watching the Just Ended Society series. Now we are starting a new series called Parent-Adolescents Relationship. What are adolescents? Adolescents are young people aged 10 to 21 years. And why are we doing this series? We are doing this series because we want to build in the community that understands how parenting can affect someone's future, someone's academic, someone's career choices, and someone's role in the community.
Greetings to you all. Welcome to our show, Tap In.
We found ourselves in spaces where we are locked up in a very restricted space. The claustrophobia sets in, the issue of uncertainty sets in. When is life going to get back to normal? When am I going to do what I wanted to do?
There's an article by Bulawayo 24 News, which is German minister kills himself over coronavirus crisis worries. So I picked this story to indicate that it's not a thing that is confined to Zimbabwe, but it's a global issue where when people fail to cope with coronavirus, they may even find themselves trying to get away.
Anything party, think Party Karate. And as Party Karate, we provide you with nothing but the best services that you can rely on. Leave all your party management and all your corporate events in our hands today. Our wide range of products include helium balloons, toys, candy gifts, jumping castles, candy floss, popcorn machines, stretch tents, and just to mention a few. Visit us today. Anything party, think party, karate.
Hello and welcome to Tap In. I'm your host, Trevor Robert, and today we're going to be covering the overview of parent-adolescents relationships. And in the studio with me today is Twanda Mureba, the co-founder and the current CEO of Yoketo. How are you, sir?
Hi, Trey. How are you?
I'm all right. And Abigail, how are you doing?
Yes, how are you?
I'm all right. Without wasting so much time of our viewers, of course, that are watching, overview of parent-adolescents relationship. There's a lot to cover there.
Yeah.
But I would like to start, by taking the small little steps. What is parent-adolescent relationship?
Okay, parent-adolescent relationship is a bond. Is a unique bond and enduring bond between parents and adolescents, and also between their caregivers. So their caregivers can be their aunties, grandmothers, etc. So this is parent-adolescent relationship, and also parent-adolescent relationship is a relationship, is a process, from childhood to adolescence, and it can actually last to adulthood. So that's parent-adolescent relationship.
I think I get a general understanding of what that is, right? But before we dive deep into it, right? Are there like styles of parenting? Because if you ask me, from my knowledge, I think one I'm So are there like styles of these relationships whereby you like create a relationship using certain styles, or it's just basic parenting?
Parent-adolescent relationship, it is many styles, 4 styles, and we are going to talk about them on another episode. But what we are going to discuss is we are going to talk about, we have 2 types of parent-adolescent relationship, right? The biological one, whereby the child is a biological relationship with the parent, and also the adoptive one, whereby the parent adopt the child. So those are the 2 parent-adolescent relationship, and those 2, they like each and every type of relationship. It has to focus on those mainly 2 types of parent-adolescent relationship.
All right. As you mentioned, that there is the biological one and the adopted one.
Yes.
So my question is, what's the main difference between the two? Besides that, it's from biological and adopted.
No,
is there anything else besides that?
Yeah, the difference, the DNA, the biological one is the DNA of the parent, and the adopted one is just someone maybe from foster care, and they don't usually do have the same DNA. So that's the difference there.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So what would you say constitutes of a good parent-adolescent relationship?
A good parent-adolescent relationship, it has to do with communication. There should be a better communication. There should be open up. There should also be a relationship in a set of dependence. A child should be dependent on the parent, and also the parent should also be dependent on the child. The adolescents now, you are grown up. You can be participating in those roles like some chores. You can actually do some errands. You can go to town. You can go wherever, and also the parent now can also provide financial basic needs to the child. So that's the sort of dependence, and that thing can actually bring in a good and a better. And also, there's issues to do with conflict. Parent-adolescent relationship is also you need to master the issue to do with conflict resolution. How are you solving your conflict? How are you managing anger? Those are the main issues to build a good parent-adolescent relationship. We should know how to manage the conflict. The relationship should be dependent, whereby the kid is doing something, the parent is also doing something, and also the issue of communication. They should be open communication. You should open up to your kids. You should open up to your to the parent. That thing can build up a better parent-adolescent relationship.
Okay. Just to stop you a bit before we jump into how to build a good parent-adolescent relationship. You did mention that a good parent-adolescent relationship constitutes of healthy communication, and then interdependency and reciprocity. You also talked about conflict resolution.
Yes.
So in other words, you're saying if these three are not present within a relationship between a parent, adolescent, caregiver, and an adolescent.
Yeah, if these three are not present, there is a chaos. Because what is needed now is we need to make sure that we avoid a negative relationship. So for us to make sure that we avoid a negative relationship, conflict is always there, right? But the issue is, how are you managing that conflict? Communication is always there.
How do we manage it?
Yeah, like I said, the issue of conflict is we need to understand. You need to know about your anger. You need to control your anger. As a parent, you need to know, this time, I'm a bit emotional. So for me to talk, or for me to engage in a communication with this child, maybe might end up, I need to down, you need to relax, you need to keep calm, and then you keep on discussing those issues again when you are relaxed and when you take a breath. So that those things are important.
Anything party. Think Party Karate. And as Party Karate, we provide you with nothing but the best services that you can rely on. Live all your party management and all your corporate events in our hands today. Our wide range of products include helium balloons, toys, candy gifts, jumping castles, candy floss, popcorn machines, stretch tents, and just to mention a few. Visit us today. Anything party, think party, karate.
Okay, we are back and you tuned in to Tap In Parent Adolescents Overview, Episode 1. Abigail, my question for you is, what's your understanding of parent-adolescent relationships?
Okay, parent-adolescent relationship, I think mainly is communication between a parent and a child. Communication is the basic between the relationship of a parent and a child. The parent have to understand any changes happening to this adolescent child.
Okay. I think I get what you're saying. So you both gave me a definition or your general understanding that goes much on communication.
Yes.
So I say somehow, communication is key, and without communication, you may have catastrophic results.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on, right? So since you all mentioned communication,
Yeah.
how do we go about having a communication with an adolescent? Because adolescents are certain things. How do we talk to them? They don't want to talk to us. How do we talk to them?
I think, like I said, you need to understand the different phase of adolescence and parent. So for you, you need to understand their language. You need to understand their opinion and their perspective towards things around the world. And you also need to want to view them like you should put yourself into their shoes so that you can understand what they're going through and communicate as a parent.
All right. I like where you stand. You're speaking as if you're a parent. Abigail,
Yes.
as a child,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say is the fallout when it comes to this communication part? Like, how are the parents getting it wrong?
Okay, let me say our parents, they don't want to hear us. They just put like measures. They say, I went to home at 6 p.m. Maybe these days, transport issues, maybe you came home 6:30. If they don't ask her, how come you are late? They start shouting, hey, you are now doing this or that. So they don't give us time to question us what has happened and let us explain to them.
In other words, you're saying they don't listen.
Or they quickly to judge.
All right. So I think from what you say that you suddenly say the same thing.
Exactly.
And as you say, they're not listening. Question is, why are they not listening?
Like I said earlier on, I keep on repeating, we live in a different world, right? There's a different gap between the parent and the adolescent, so those generational gap, that are the factors that usually contribute to the breakdown of communication.
All right, you mentioned generational gap. I would like to, ask the question I was hoping to ask at the end of this episode. So there is a digital divide. That's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Is your mother on WhatsApp?
Yes.
Your father?
Yes.
And how often do you talk on WhatsApp?
I'm not really often.
So how can you solve the problem if the parents aren't willing to adopt to our means of communication?
Yeah, actually, like as I said, the issue of you need to build up health communication. Not necessarily on WhatsApp. As a child, you should try by all means to adapt to adjust. To have time to talk to your parents. Maybe on meal times, maybe lunch or dinner. You should actually talk to your parents. You should communicate. You should maximize that opportunity so that you communicate and you talk. Rather than maybe WhatsApp or maybe. Let's try to adjust. Is the child, let us use the platform, our dinner time, our lunch time, and also the parents. Also, let us also try to communicate using WhatsApp. So if you meet halfway, then the communication will be better in the health communication.
I like how you took that away from technology. The question I always ask is, how much time do these adolescents spend at home?
Yeah, I think she'll answer that one.
How much time do y'all spend at home? Because I remember all the time song actually mentioned something about him and the parents having a fight because of not being at home most of the time. So if you have that traditional relationship or traditional communication, how would you go about it if they're not at home?
Usually, our parents, they are the ones who made us difficult not to stay at home.
You know what you say?
Okay.
Okay, fine. It's fine. Anyway, I like how we've dwelled on communication and how we've talked about communication and all that. But what would be your advice to parents listening at home as far as communication is concerned? From parental perspective?
As I said, health communication is needed, whereby we both adjust, and whereby we both listen attentively to the issues that are going on. We need to listen attentively. We need to pay attention to the communication. If you are angry, you need to calm down. You need to take a breath, and then you restart the communication. So basically, those are the issues. Also, conflict resolution. Conflict is something which is we can't prevent conflict. There's always conflict. So, but we need to resolve it in a way that is much healthy, and in a way that is much safe, and in a way that is much calm, so that we keep on communicating.
True. I respect that. And now, what would you say as far as communication is concerned?
Okay.
To our parents or to our fellow, children?
I have to say communication is the key to a healthy relationship between a parent and a child. We as children, we have to communicate to our parents, and our parents have to listen to us.
I like the emphasis on listen. And conflict resolution, and she also mentioned having conflict about let. I understand parent-adolescent relationships are supposed to create the foundation of life, the foundation of being an adult.
Yes.
So if you're having problems like not trusting me, because if I come home late, you're trusting I'm being up to no good.
Yes.
So do we have certain trust issues we have to talk about in as much as these parent-adolescent relationships are concerned?
Yeah. We need to talk much about trust. But we will actually, some of these issues, we discuss them in the experts to come. But the issue of trust is important. Parents and adolescents should learn to trust. Because without trust, you can't communicate. Without trust, there's nothing else. So trust is the major key there.
But I respect that. And what can you say about trust?
Okay.
As much as this relationships are concerned, are they really based on the trust the parent and the adolescents have, or it's just trust needed to make it possible?
Yes, trust is needed, but we sometimes we're taking advantage of that trust.
Overusing it.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm people trust that anyway, I'd like to move on the subtopic that's titled the implications that adolescents change have on parent adolescent relationships.
Okay.
You understand when the changes started to happen and all that. They may have seemed to have a fallout or maybe a bond that was created between you and your parent, and on your end too, there might have been some challenges you faced. Things you used to know them. So what are the major implications that these adolescent changes have on these adolescent relationships?
Okay. I will discuss something on research. In adolescence is a transition period whereby someone is going through a lot of changes. Some of those changes are physical, some of those changes are sexual changes, some of those changes are psychological. So Abigail will explain based from her own experience, but I will just explain the theoretical and from the research. So those changes, the physical change, adolescents started to develop the muscles, those hormones and stuff. So they end up as boys, we start to develop some voice box, start to develop some muscles, start to develop some beard and stuff, something like that. So those physical changes now, the implication that they have on the adolescent, the parent-adolescent relationship is, as for boys, you'll be like, no, I'm now the father, I'm now, you become like notorious, something like that. And as for girls, those changes also again, they might actually affect the relationship, because they might start to develop some desire, and also their type of music and their activity, social life, everything will just change. And also they'll start to date, so and the parent back home, they'll be like, yo, you are still my kid, they keep on view that adolescence as someone who's 10 years old, but they'll be like, yeah, but you're no longer a kid, but you're still a kid. So that physical, that's the physical implication, and that's the physical change and the implication to communication between parents and adolescents. And also now the sexual part is, as adolescents, you start to develop those powerful hormones. You start to you start to desire having sex, start to desire dating someone, start to have those wet dreams, those whatever. So that sexual, you start to you can't even control yourself. So so and then back home, then start to start to change the way that you're dressing, and the parent will be like, okay, I'm watching you. That also again, if not managed properly, it can actually cause a bad parent-adolescent communication. But if it is also managed very properly and very well, wow, the relationship is amazing, And also now the last one is psychological. Like I said, the adolescents, the parent-adolescent relationship, we have a lot of things going on in our minds. We have a lot of we want to build up our career, we want to choose what to do at school, we want to choose how we're going to start. Yes, a lot. And also your body is growing big and you're like, wow, this is me. So that brings in a lot of emotions, psychological. So now as a parent, also, that can also affect, because you start to develop some moods, start to develop some anxiety, start to develop some, some stress, start to develop them what is really going on? I'm failing to do this and this, but Tanaka out there is doing well. What about me? So you start to develop those modes whereby you are avoiding to communicate with the parent. So a parent now should also understand how to talk to a child, how to talk to adolescents, because he or she might fail A level or O level results. So then a parent now should know how to communicate. So if communicated properly, wow, the relationship is okay. But if that happens to be a negative thing, the relationship is dead, for good. So those are the adolescents change and their implication. I'm sure I should add on what really happened here, a personal experience through those changes.
It's not a nation. You just came through adolescence and all that. From your personal lived experience, what's your take on the implications that the changes have on these relationships?
Right, I can see as adolescents and the changes you'll be seeing different.
You'll be seeing different. Only understand that seeing different. How
what your parents are seeing and what you're seeing will be different.
All right.
For example, in my own experience in terms of religion, okay, I was going to the church with my parents.
And you left?
Yeah, I left.
Interesting.
Then there was a conflict. As long as staying in my house, you have to go to our church. But I was like, hey, your church, your religion, your dating is
You're
not
in line with the doctrines and all that.
Okay. So there comes the conflict. Your parents' view will be different with your view.
My whole day is about to change my life decisions and all that.
Yeah.
So how did you go about making up solving that conflict?
All right. Okay, we sit down and told them, Mom, the issue of religion is your soul. You want to go to heaven. And so in your church, the doctrines, the religion, it is nice, it is good, but for you, not for me. Then she understands that you can't drag someone to worship in your church or to believe in your doctrine. Then she was like, you can do whatever you like as long as you're going to church. So I go to my own church, she goes to your own church.
I do like how she respected the right to religion. Anyway, since you mentioned the implication that it had caused some conflict, and fortunately enough, we managed to resolve it. But say shout out to your parents. And you mentioned something about having sexual desires and all that. My question is, as a parent, that's the last thing your kid should do. Based on how I grew up, that's nothing your kid should do. So how do you go about how do you go about that?
I think she'll add on, but as parent, parent needs to start to have sexual talk with their kids, with their adolescents, because they should talk about sex. They should talk about sex. They should educate them about sex. Why? Because if you talk about something, these people would not, that curiosity. I don't know, that force of what is really happening there. They will actually know everything, and for them, they will be like nothing to experience or nothing to try to, So I think we should keep on those discussions at home. We should talk about sex. We should try to educate them about sex, and also as parents, I think on those issues they should hug the adolescents more, especially the father and the daughter. Yeah, exactly. It does help a lot. Why? Because if you don't do that, there's someone who's doing that. Right.
I didn't see that.
So if the father is the hugger, then the child will be like, "Oh, I'm going home. My dad to hug me." Exactly. And from that point now, you discuss more issues about sexual, what really happens, and if you are a Christian, you'll be actually okay. This is what the Bible tells about sex. So if you are not a Christian, as a parent, it is okay for you to have sex when you're married. Those discussions, they should be. We should, as parents, they should actually bring in those communications at home. I'm sure Abigail, someone you can explain much better.
Yes.
Quick question: did you have B talk with your mother or with your father?
No.
Don't lie.
No, we don't. We don't even at totally kidding answers.
I'm just asking, is this realistic? Because in my culture, right, talking about sex, hey, now mom is it's a non-stop. So how did you manage to solve a problem you
Sex talk usually it should happen.
and did it happen?
Yeah.
And did you do it? I do like that, but I think after what she said, I have another question. If parents are not having the relationship talk, or should you say the talk, who is supposed to do it if they're not doing it?
That's why you said like adolescents change and their implications to parent-adolescent child. If now parents don't talk, or if now parents are not supposed to talk about these issues, who then is going to talk to those issues?
That's the question.
And then that person now, if he managed to talk like with your kid or with your adolescent, there will be a problem, because that person, they start to develop a serious communication, a serious relationship with that person rather than the parent. So I think the parent should communicate with those issues, because once you break down the communication, once you just communicate, the relationship will more likely, according to research, should increase. Relationship it does increase. So, but the effect is we don't want to talk about it, and then the relationship just goes. Because most of the time, these adolescents, they spend much of their time on the phone, and what they're doing there is typing. I'm not sure the word. Is it sex typing or whatever? Yeah, 16. Yeah, 16. Yeah, exactly. So, as a parent, you need now to communicate, right? And if you now talk, instead of me asking Trey for advice, I'll be like, mom, it's this guy. Exactly. That's super. That's super. Actually, I do have a girl that has that kind of relationship with her dad and FM. Yeah, exactly. But unfortunately, she was like, I can't go. But that relationship, you find out they are close to the extent of very, very close. Parents should adopt to their styles. They should talk. They should discuss those issues, because at home they should be like a school. You should teach your children on how to behave and how, especially on those changes and their implications.
True. I do like how you elaborated on the need for having deep talkers. This is my personal belief, right? If you do tell your kid, don't have sex, the chances are she might or he might not listen. But if we do go ahead and talk to the kids, manage resolution, conflict resolution,
Exactly.
have those interdependence and reciprocity.
Exactly.
Anyway, as we've been going, it's been great, and we'd like to take a short break. We'll be back just now.
Anything party, think party karate. And as Party Karate, we provide you with nothing but the best services that you can rely on. Live all your party management and all your corporate events in our hands today. Our wide range of products include helium balloons, toys, candy gifts, jumping castles, candy floss, popcorn machines, stretch tents, and just to mention a few, visit us today. Anything party, think party, karate.
Welcome back to Parent Adolescents Overview on Tap In. I'm Trevor Robert and Tawanda and Abigail in the studio with me. Anyway, as we are about to wrap up our show, what would be your 2 cents on the parents and the adolescents at home as far as these parent-adolescent relationships are concerned?
Okay, in conclusion, I would say, parents, let us communicate with our children. And like what Tawanda said, parents should have the talk with their children, especially sex talk. You can't say to a child, don't do that, don't have sex. You want reasons. Why are you saying that? So we need to have that talk. And also, like you also said, as fathers, you have to have time with your daughters. Take them out, have time with them, so that if someone, even I see a boyfriend and takes me out, and they takes me out, it's not something new. My father also does that for me. So father should also embrace with their daughters, taking them out, having time with them, and having a good talk with them.
All right, thank you. And Tom, what would be your 2 cents?
Okay, my conclusion would be, as parents, we should okay, my conclusion is like adolescents and parents, they should have a healthy relationship, and that healthy relationship is we should communicate openly. We should try by all means to resolve conflicts, and you should also try by all means to be interdependent, and also the issue of implications and change. Parents should notify the changes among their kids, among the adolescents, so that they should understand. Because as parents, one way or the other, they experience the same thing when they are growing up. So they should also relate without judging the adolescents. They should relate, and by relating, they can help with the problem from their lived experience. So I think that's all I can say to wrap up.
Okay, thank you, Abigail, and thank you, Tawanda. That's what we had on Tap In with Trevor Roberts. Do make sure to tune in next week, as we will be dwelling on parenting styles. From your host, be safe or be good.